Welcome to the first part of the 2018 Trophy Awards. We are going to kick things off and list the top 10 trophy lists from this past year. After this, I'll dive into the 10 hardest and the 10 easiest platinum trophies, so make sure you are subscribed and ring that notification bell so you don't miss those. I really look forward to the Trophy Awards because I get to include you guys in the process, and 2018 was an amazing year for PlayStation games. For the top 10 trophy lists, I asked you on Twitter and in my official Discord server to give me your favorite trophy list, and hundreds of you answered the call, and I'm very excited to say that I think you guys got this right. The top 10 trophy list is basically the game of the year through the eyes of a trophy hunter. There were some games that didn't quite crack the top 10 that got enough love from you guys that I do want to take a second to recognize them before I jump into it. Those games are Dragon Quest XI, Celeste, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Monster Hunter World, and the PSVR game Beat Saber. It's actually really cool to see a PSVR game get some attention. So let's jump into the top 10, starting at number 10, the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Yeah, technically this is 3 games, but it was packaged as one. This contains remakes of the first 3 Spyro games, very much like what Activision did last year with the Crash Bandicoot series. Now, if I had to single out one of these titles as being the best, I would personally choose Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, but you'll get 3 platinum trophies for the price of 1. These games are basically old school collectathons, and the trophy list had a very nice structure to them. In each level of the games, there is one random trophy you can earn. Most of them are super easy and allowed you to focus more on your enjoyment of the game instead of stressing out about the trophies. Now, I fully recommend this trilogy to anyone who is a fan of the series or wants to add 3 fun platinums to their trophy count. Expect to put in about 30 hours total and around 3 out of 10 difficulty. Number 9 on our list is another remake, but Shadow of the Colossus does not feel like a remake. It was rebuilt from the ground up and modernized. This featured a trophy list that was far easier than the PS3 version, which itself was a remaster. I'm personally very fond of this game, surprisingly, since I had the exact opposite feelings towards Last Guardian, but while it's probably only a 4 out of 10 difficulty, there are aspects of this trophy list I really don't like seeing. The first is missable trophies. It featured 4 missable trophies. You had to do a speed run on hard mode, complete the game without dying, pray at all the shrines, and finally use a specific attack right at the end of the game. Thankfully, none of them were actually difficult, and you had to replay the game 4 to 7 times, so you'll have plenty of opportunity to get them. The second aspect of this list I never like seeing in any game is something I just mentioned, and that's having to replay the game multiple times. However, since this game can be completed very quickly, I'll give it a pass, since even with all of that, you can platinum this in under 25 hours. Number 8 is the only game I personally have never played, and that's YAKUZA 6: The Song of Life. This is another game that rates at roughly 4 out of 10, which may take around 40 hours to complete. This YAKUZA title takes a different approach than earlier YAKUZA titles with its trophies and doesn't require you to achieve 100% completion. It can also be completed in a single playthrough provided you don't lose out on its one missable trophy. They eliminated a lot of filler from past games in the series and reworked a lot of the other mechanics, so fans of this series seems to be divided on this approach, but YAKUZA 6 had its best ever launch in the West, so perhaps the series will see more ports head our way. Number 7 is Battlefield 5. This is the lone multiplayer only game on this list. Well, kind of. It does have a single player campaign that they call War Stories, but it's such a tiny part of the game and most people buy this game for the competitive online. It has only 6 trophies as part of the War Stories, and all you need to do is complete them on the hardest difficulty, which is not hard at all. There's no collectibles, no challenges, or any other miscellaneous tasks. The rest of the trophies reside completely within the multiplayer, where the only difficult one is for destroying 5 manned weapons with an airplane. Battlefield 5 probably experienced softer than normal sales because the planned Battle Royale mode didn't ship with the game. The exclusion of that, however, probably made this platinum trophy much easier, something that may take you 30 hours with a difficulty of 3 of 10. So let's head into number 6, which is Far Cry 5. I'm really happy this game got some love. I don't think I could come up with a better trophy list for this game, which takes about 25 hours with the 3 out of 10 difficulty. It required you to do a little of everything, but never asks too much from you. The game is very open-ended. Once you make it past the opening area, you're basically free to go anywhere and accomplish your goals in whatever order you want. The game does have an online arcade mode, but the related trophies don't ask you to devote your life to earning them. The most troublesome of those is winning 10 games on featured maps, but only because there's no way to ensure you play on those featured maps. Many people in my Discord chat, myself included, boosted this in a private match, making it very quick and easy. If we head back to the campaign trophies, you'll notice the game has 6 different types of collectibles for a total of 68. However, you only need 1 of each type for the platinum. I'd say the most troublesome trophy is for completing the hunting and fishing challenges. There are 16 animals and 12 fish you'll be after. With Boomer and a few hours, you'll complete all of that. This is the right way to do hunting challenges in a game. There is a wrong way to do them, which allows me to segue into number 5 on our list. And that is Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead drops down to number 5, not because of the overall quality of the game, but because of the difficulty in achieving platinum. It's probably more grindy than it is hard, but what a 250-hour grind it will be. Thankfully, the game is fantastic. If you thought the 16 animals you had to skin in Far Cry 5 was bad, well, in Red Dead 2, the zoologist trophy requires you to study all 178 animals in the game and skin 71 specific ones. The hard part is finding many of them. It could be argued that it's the most obnoxious trophy of the year. There's also going to be a long grind to get to 100% completion and to reach level 50 online. There's also a terrible missable trophy, and that is for completing all 28 optional honor missions. Miss one of them and you'll have to start the game all over, or reload an earlier save if you were smart enough to make one along the way. Thankfully, a bug exists where you just have to replay an epilogue mission called Home Improvement for Beginners and it'll pop that lending a hand trophy. Hopefully that's still unpatched when you watch this. As I mentioned, the game is great and there is still a lot to love about the Red Dead Redemption 2 trophy list. You may not platinum it, but that doesn't necessarily mean you won't love trying to. It'll take a long time, but it's still at worst only a 5 out of 10 on the difficulty scale. Number 4 is Detroit Become Human. This is arguably the best Quantic Dream title they've released. Heavy Rain was well received, but they lost a little favor with gamers for the not quite as good Beyond Two Souls title. They came out swinging with Detroit Become Human and it delivered a home run with its trophy list. The trophy list can feel a little overwhelming because you have to go back and replay a lot of sections for different outcomes. It's not as complicated as getting all the endings in Heavy Rain, and the new flowchart makes things easier to understand. I mentioned earlier in this video that I'm not a fan of multiple playthroughs. This game is a big exception. What makes this trophy list so great is that it encourages you to replay the game or a few chapters or just a single chapter. These replays allow you to go back and make different decisions, and you don't just earn a trophy, you are delivered a new story, a new experience. While going for this platinum, I was more interested in the new narratives that were being told because of the choices I made for the trophies and seeing how those affected the ending of the game. Even with all the replays, you can earn this fairly easy platinum in 25 hours. Detroit Become Human is one of the few games where earning the platinum actually makes the game better. Number 3 is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's a great game, but I have to give a big shout out to Ubisoft for starting to recognize what I've disliked about their trophy list. If you go back to Far Cry 5 at number 6 on this list, I mentioned that they only required you to find one of each type of collectible. Well, Odyssey took it a little bit further, and for the first time in recent memory, they didn't even ask you to 100% every area, just 42 underwater areas. You didn't have to complete every quest, you didn't have to synchronize all the viewpoints, and the trophy list is basically all of the fun stuff in the game and left out all of the tedious aspects. It's still a big game and it'll take you 60 hours, but it's only a 3 out of 10 difficulty and one of the best games to come out this year. Odyssey includes for the first time dialogue choices and multiple endings, but your decisions won't block you from any trophy, and that freedom of choice is much appreciated by me. It does have one missable trophy, which requires you to spend the night with another character, but I'll tell you not to worry about it due to the number of chances you'll have at it. Number 2 is Marvel's Spider-Man. Every year, there is a game that people will most commonly cite as their first platinum trophy ever, and this is it for 2018. All you need to do is 100% the game, which will take around 30 hours at about a 3 or 4 difficulty out of 10. So many people love this game that non-trophy hunters got that platinum because once they beat the story, they wanted to play more and you never had to look up a guide. Granted, I will agree with most people that the side tasks got a little repetitive, but it is always a joy to swing around the city. Insomniac Games also took it easy on us trophy hunters. There are many challenges around the city, but they didn't require us to get the gold level ultimate score on any of them. I would have personally loved that extra challenge, but this trophy list is accessible for everyone. This is one of those games where all you need to do is play the game on whatever difficulty you choose and not worry about the trophies, so it's no surprise that this game was the only thing that prevented God of War from winning in a landslide. Number 1 is coming as no surprise to anyone. Obviously, God of War is taking the title of the best trophy list of 2018. And I don't care what anyone says, God of War was the game of the year. Of course, being the game of the year doesn't automatically mean you have the best trophy list, but in this case, it's hard to argue. You got yourself a solid 40 hours and a moderate difficulty of, I don't know, 4 or 5 out of 10. It doesn't matter what difficulty you play it on, it doesn't have anything missable. It does feature some collectibles that will require to use a guide, mine for example, but the trophy list is pretty straightforward. Most of the non-story related trophies ask you to explore more of the areas of the game. Every trophy was fun to earn and nothing felt like a chore. Even the collectibles, for which there are many, wasn't bad because I enjoyed revisiting most of the areas in the game looking for them. Take everything right about the trophy list and layer it on top of an amazing story with great gameplay in a world that is beautifully crafted, and you easily have the best game and trophy list of the year. So that's the top 10. Thank you for watching. I personally platinumed 7 of these 10 games. Well, technically 9 out of 12 if you break out the Spyro games individually. Let me know how many you've completed. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for the remaining Trophy Award videos.